Calidus Architects, from 0 to 105 years. If you like cars, you're probably not that interested in that time limit. But the slow but steady road to financial success and job satisfaction. So this is basically my story about what type of architecture I like to do. And I know you guys, a lot of you probably do completely different, modern, high-rise, medical. This is just, from my perspective, what has happened to me in terms of what I do. So who are we? We're based in Wellington, New Zealand, which is the capital city. It's a beautiful place. It consists of a lot of this type of housing stock, which is what is sort of classified as character homes in most New Zealanders' mindsets. This is us, or some of us. There was 2 of us who couldn't be there today. Great team. This is us today, obviously, because we're 6 staff. In 2013, I finished 2 projects. So obviously this is the before photo and an after photo. And I thought, whoa, that looks pretty good. Happy with that. And then also this one here, which was a massive one, a really highly sought after neighbourhood in New Zealand. And I thought, sweet, I've got it made. I've done these 2 projects. Everyone's going to come calling. But I didn't get any work, and then you go from having done these great projects back to doing garages and boring stuff like that. So what do you do then? I went to this Chamber of Commerce thing. I met this man. Today you get to, obviously met Richard or listened to him speak many times, but I thought I'd try on what he was talking about. You can actually sell high-priced services on market. I never heard about that before. I didn't know what marketing meant. I'd never been told what the mystery wonders of marketing is. So I decided to try and have a go working with Richard and work out what this was all about. So then he started talking about niche, newsletter, website, AdWords, leads, follow-up system, shock and awe box, articles, booklet, Monkey's Fist, LCC, 30/30, and oh my God, there's so much to learn. It's quite, when you start, it's completely overwhelming. I'll be the first to say that. But here, that's thankfully not me. I would be dead if that actually was the real thing. But I decided, how can I do it? I decided to give it a go. So the road to success. Basically, we started working together, and now when I'm standing here today, it all sounds amazing, and people expect the road to success looks like this. But it actually looked like that. You start something, man, that didn't work. Okay, right, we'll try this, and on you go and go. Obviously, it still moves upwards, because otherwise we wouldn't be here. But it was a lot of hard work, wins and losses. I drank a lot of coffee whenever you had a really bad, oh my God, we just posted this article, I got no work out of it. I spent all this money. So then you go and drink coffee. And then when you get really a lot of leads, then you also go and drink coffee, maybe a beer instead, to celebrate that, right? But what was the alternative of not doing this marketing and not taking on all of this work of trying to work out how to market? Would be no work, right? So in some respects, when you boil it right down, you got no other option than to succeed, because otherwise, do you want to continue just doing what you were doing before? We've had a lot of fun together working out this, sometimes almost arguments together, because we live quite close to each other. We've sort of caught up at cafes and stuff, and it's been a great trip working together with Richard, so thank you very much, and working with Enoch and Eric as well. So it's been really great. Boiled down, this is 5 years on, what I think is actually happening here, and this is just my take on it. They've got some fancier sayings for everything, but I'll just speak it in my plain old language of how an architect thinks about stuff that doesn't know anything about marketing. I think there's 3 key elements to this. And the first one is the power pyramid. The second one is lead generation. And the last one is the circle of love. I think you've heard that term before today. In terms of the power pyramid, it's setting the stage to become a different person, right? It talks about niche, how you charge more, and articles and the books published. So So I've done all these things. So I'll give you some examples. So in terms of the niche, in terms of the power pyramid, at the moment when you start, right, and you're not a specialist or a niche in anything, I think you're just on the bottom. You're just a generalist architect chugging along, doing garages, and every now and again you do a house for someone that you know, right? And then you can go to become a specialist, expert, celebrity. So we started working on the niche. That was one of the first things we did, and I was really struggling trying to overcome this. Well, niche, does that mean I can't, like this lovely lady from Alaska was saying, does that mean I can't do anything else? No, you can still do other stuff, but it's just a way of positioning yourself in the market. So I'm originally from Denmark, and then we established I like doing sort of Scandinavian white renovation-y stuff, and loved heritage. Obviously a lot of heritage in Wellington. Everyone understands it as character homes if you're not an architect. So I became a character renovation specialist. Niche is totally key to everything. I would really, really spend the first, month or day, however fast you work, is to work out what your niche is. It's the underlying element for everything else. So just by saying, I'm a character renovation specialist, ding dong, you're moving up the power pyramid. It didn't take that much work, did it? And the other thing was to increase my fees. Richard spoke about this a little bit earlier. We were having a lot of arguments about that. And it comes down to vision of value in my own eyes. I think architects, I don't know what's wrong with us, we think we're just worth nothing. It's really strange. As much as we complain about it, until we change that mindset in your own head about what is the value that I bring to the table, it becomes really hard to convince other people about that. If you don't believe it yourself, how are they going to believe that you want to charge, $200 an hour or whatever? So that was a big hurdle to overcome, but I don't struggle with it quite so much anymore. Again, by putting yourself, raising your fees, you're moving further up again the power pyramid. So 2 super easy exercises, just change what you call yourself and put your fees up. Articles is a great way of getting, some promotion, being seen as an expert. We've just finished writing this book. It's gone to print. I thought if you guys are interested in getting a copy of that, I'll send one to Enoch. They can make a competition maybe and send it out. I've really struggled with this book because I always try to write it for other architects, but I'm not going to write it for other architects. I'm going to write it for clients who are interested in character building. So what I wanted to do with this was just talk about stuff. All of this is educational. It's not actually seen as please buy my services, but it's fueling the whole image of what it is we do. It's been a lot of fun. I found through all this other marketing we're doing, I found a photographer who has been photographing heritage homes his whole life. And it's a match made in heaven. So we made this book together. It's been an amazing journey. So, you do these things and make it look really easy. It only took 5 minutes, as you know. It actually took a lot of work. But then you're sort of in the expert session already. I got a phone call from a guy who had looked us up and was like, oh, my God, I'm in a hurry, and I just saw you were the experts on renovation of character homes. And it's like, sweet. I've done all my selling. I've worked out, he already knows what kind of work I want to do. I don't have to do all that explaining up front to the client when you first meet them. And he hired me on the spot. The other element number 2, is the lead generation, also known as phishing. Because as much as we talked about, we all do great work, but that doesn't get you necessarily the next job. So the elements I use in my practice is the newsletter, website, LCC, articles, home shows, the booklet, and also the building of relationships. This is one of my first newsletters, and I don't know why, it just took me so long to do this. It's done in Word, and I was like, oh my God, the font's not quite right, and someone will pick it up, The reality is people read a newsletter for like 5-10 minutes while they're having coffee. They're not going to ring you up and say, I saw your font was 5 mil out. But as an architect, that's what we think, isn't it? We're just so focused on getting stuff right. But I just thought I'd share this with you. I was like, no, I still got to do it. So anyway. On our website, we've got ways of people to engage with us. They can book a studio visit, blueprint report, or a vision package. There's a couple of sort of products, turn your service into a product is a big thing. So the booking of the blueprint, which is the LCC, is a way we get a lot of business through our website. And it just outlines what does that actually mean, and then what do you do with it? Our blueprint, we set that up as individuals' pages to suit specific projects, and it turns into a report, and it's crucial to undertake 2 meetings. But we also outline, I don't think you can read it here, but it's on this blurb, it says, the blueprint consists of 2 meetings. The first meeting can come out and visit you, go through what it is you want, do an analysis of blah, 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 blah. Then we go away, talk to the council, make it sound quite complicated, come back, and then just outline into this report. So instead of, I don't know what your previous experience has been, but you get a call from someone who wants to hire you, go out and see them, meet them for coffee, and then 5 meetings later, you still haven't got the job, and you don't know if they still want to hire you. This process, you do the 2 meetings, ding dong, it's up to them to say yes, press the go button. So that shortens the whole, upfront negotiations with the clients down to super easy. And I'd like to reiterate, our blueprints get a 90% success rate, and I think that's pretty good. Articles, again, we've had a lot of success with developing good relationships with journalists. The key thing here is just to put a little note. We give a booklet away for free. Just email us, So then we get emails from people. Oh my God, I saw this article. It's amazing. I'd love your booklet. Ding, they're a lead. And then you start that system follow-up stuff. The other thing we've done is home shows. And man, oh man, when you tell another architect you're going to a home show, it's like, what are you doing that for? That's just like where you go and buy fry pans, right? But anyway, we decided to do a home show because I got friends that are like an electrician and said, oh no, we get quite a lot of work out of that. So I thought, well, electricians, that's kind of like in architecture, isn't it? So we got 140 leads, the first home show. The key to a home show is not to just turn up being hopeful and blabber, it's to sell a product. So we sell the blueprint, that's all we do. We just sell that initial consultation because you can't go to this thing and convince someone to buy your services for like 50 grand, but you can get them convinced to buy something for $500, So that's what we do there. We just sell the blueprint, and it's incredibly successful for us. Other lead generation is on the website, and also in hard copy you can get the booklets, various means. We've got a little business card we sometimes give out where you can scan and get onto a lead generation page and download it. We also do building relationships. So this is a seminar we've done with some builders in our local neighbourhood. We did a seminar and talked about renovating houses, and that was quite good. But, we try lots of things. So I'm just showing stuff that has worked for me. You may find other things that work for you. So lessons learned, you got to keep feeding the circle of love. Keep getting leads, pretend you're all little blue or red fish or however which way to swim down to the circle of love, which is the key element number 3, in my opinion. Because, again, it has to become, if you do all this amazing lead generation stuff, paperwork, make it look super hot, and then you just revert back in your fee proposal or revert back in how you operate to just Mr. Plain old vanilla architect again. It has to look the whole way through, because if you imagine your services as a product, then that visual consistency has to go all the way through. And we get really happy clients because they just feel really comfortable, they trust you because everything has that consistency of look. So then they say, oh no, we trust you to make all the selections, thank goodness. And we trust you to do, make the right calls on what the prices are going to be and stuff. So build relationships and consistency of the product. So the circle of love to me means, we're getting all the referrals and leads up the top. Then we got follow-up consultation. You sign people up, you get the concept package underway, construction package, consent tendering, on-site admin and observation. It might be a bit different here in America, but that's the words you use in New Zealand. So it's the machine to take the leads, right? So the follow-up, we initially did a lot of full-on follow-up, and Kiwis don't like that quite so much. So we leave them alone a little bit and actually just do really slow follow-up, like one thing a month, but it still gets us to work. And it's not salesy or pushy in any way. But because we have so many leads, like I said on the video, it can be 2-3 leads a day sometimes. It's just mad. I mean, how do we even cope with that? by leaving them alone, you sort of self-filter some of those away. Consultation, which is our blueprint. So the steps up to our blueprint is we send them a pre-meeting questionnaire. We tell them straight up on the phone that there's a fee charge, obviously, to come out and see them and do this process. And they get really happy getting this questionnaire. And, like Jane was saying, some people even write a second brief or a third brief, or get the wife to write one and the husband another and the kids the third. So they get really engaged. So when you actually turn up and they've been sent this shock and awe box in advance, they're just ready to go. So that's the blueprint, basically. There's some other steps to that, but I won't go into that too much just yet. The concept package, construction package, consistency. I mean, we all, as architects, know what that all means. I've just given a couple of examples. So we try and have, this logo and whole consistency of what visually things look. So we give little advice sheets what happens during consent. I mean, it's so blindingly obvious to us, but they don't know. And they think it's great, and we're having a little bit of a fun. And during the construction, expect an oh-no stage and the happy elation stage. We're walking around with a cup of tea and your slippers and you're so excited about your half-finished product. And people are really engaged with that. They think it's great, because it sort of gives a idea that you're not just completely stressed, overworked architect trying to finish your drawing sometime. You have actually time to sort of inform them about what's happening. So we always try and package everything up that we're doing in terms of drawings so it looks nice when it gets sent out to people, have the consistency of that. And then at the end of actually doing the work, they become a lead again. So we ask for client feedback, we ask for, we have a referral award scheme in the office. And again, we send them to this beautiful old restored cinema where they can go to the movies and go out for dinner with their partner. So it just becomes about heritage all the time. And then they go on to our newsletter. This is what our newsletter looks like now. It's electronic, and it works really well. We get a lot of great responses out of that from general, just overall. And the other thing is send your newsletter to your subbies or the other consultants you work with, because they really engage with it, and then they remember you for another job. They become another client referral. That has led to some great work. This is a very famous a building from a famous New Zealand architect, now dead. We renovated that, turned it into a look like that. We've seen as the expert assessors for heritage protected works. There was a picture of that earlier on. This has also been a huge project for us. Just more stuff, villas, bungalows, all that sort of stuff, which is what we like doing. So 95% of our work today is within our niche. And it's work we love to do. And then you start thinking, things are going pretty good, what do we do with all these dollars that we're supposedly making? So then you got to start, once you get all this up and running and you can charge higher fees, this whole other thing starts to happen, and that's where we are working a lot on that. We charge for the initial consultation. We have decided to go ahead and charge deposits for our work that we do. My favourite story is I have some investment property and I had to buy a new gas heater for one of the houses, walk down to the shop to organise it, and it says, thanks very much, it'll be $4,000 up front. Okay, I see, pull out my card, ding dong, pay someone $4,000, and all I've done is had one conversation with this person. So how come architects can't charge deposit when I happily pay $4,000 for a gas heater that's not even in the country yet, that will be installed by some Tom that I don't even know, So we've decided something's got to change with the fee structure. Again, this whole percentage thing, and they might pay me if I stand on one leg, that sort of stuff. We are, again, taking charge of what's actually happening as an architectural profession is a big thing for me. So we charge deposit and we break the fee down into stages, and ding dong, we charge a deposit for each stage. And that has been huge for us in terms of becoming more profitable in the business. And I cannot reiterate that enough. And, some of the easy charge, like build them 10 grand before we even start on site. What does that do to your cash flow in the office if you, within 1 week, get 3 new jobs? No, you haven't done the work yet. And then at the end of the month, when you have done the work, you send them another bill, and they don't even click. I've already paid all this money up front, but that's okay. And the thing is, I can see it in your eyes, and it's about being comfortable about making money. Architects don't like it. I don't like making money. It's really weird. I can see it. You're like, oh my God, she's sounding a bit sort of keen on this whole money thing. But why shouldn't it be? Why can you imagine any doctors or engineers or anyone else that we actually work with not liking making money? I also, another example is if you told a contractor, can you build me this building for half the price, please? What would they say? They would go, no. But strangely enough, architects go, okay. So I don't do that. And all of this stuff just starts to do magic to the business. So in actual fact, I'll tell you, like Richard was going, you tripled your income from when you started. So that was last year. We tripled our income. And that, I'm not talking about just income in the business. I'm talking about my own salary that I take home every month and put in my little pocket.